and can finally turn around and say, I do like the loading screen. I know it's not a new image, and massive warning in advance, though I do think this message will pop up for everybody. You kind of, to explore pretty much everything Angels of the Zariman related, have to have completed the new war quest first. And this video will be very, very kind of spoiler heavy. Can't really avoid it. It is in pretty much everything. I'm trying to figure out why Father has sent me the components to build a void rig. I already have one built, so this kind of makes no sense to me. But you do need one to do the quest, so that kind of makes sense. So we'll start with, let's just call it the biggie. The Focus School recalculation, rework, remaster, whatever they want to call it, means everything has been reset to 0. But any focus you have earned has basically been refunded. Yeah. Of course, this isn't 303 is because mine was pretty maxed. Same with the 10 brilliant Eidolon shards. You will receive some, but you will only get the 303 and the 10 if it was maxed. Same as this number here is just how much focus I have earned for it. Zariman should be a lot more than that. And a lot of them. For a pool that was, what, 177 in max capacity? 303, I'm hoping, well, we all know this doesn't calculate to what you spent on it, but hey, I'll take it. They've also refunded the brilliant Eidolon shards needed to gain everything, and because everything in here has basically been reset when it comes to the focus tree, and there is a lot of differences that are actually in here. I mean, just from the simple, well, it's not appearing here, so let me do something. Well, first off, that says 10 million. 9, 8, 8, 11. They refunded me 7, 6s, 9s. That definitely says 10 and 11 and 8, 8, 9. To be fair, that one's kind of the biggest, so let's just upgrade all of these. This, fully unlocked, will unlock cosmetics for whatever syndicate focus tree you are looking at. But where did that standing just go? Because according to this, I still need standing. And according to this, it didn't use the 5 up that I told it to. Oh, because I forgot to hit convert. That would have helped. And then, boop. Come back out, because you're going to have to come back out to go back in. And then the shop will be unlocked. And that will basically bring a poster for your landing craft. For whatever school you happen to max out. It's called a Vosphere, but it is, again, it's a decoration that you can place anywhere, or use it as a glyph, because it's a glyph, or a decoration. You can pretty much use it for both. You can also get them as emblems, as... we'll come back to that. This is also a landing craft decoration. It literally says, with the Zanuric crystal. And I'm not using a million standing to pick that up. Yeah, these things are expensive. But every school's is completely different. As you can see, I really don't want to say Void Shell, but the Void Shell skin is the same thing. We'll get onto that in a second. But I do like the badges. If we actually just come and jump to the operator and... yeah, you're not imagining that one wrong either. On coming out, or casting your operator, jumping to your operator, however you want to put it, you will leave that skill tree on the floor. But you can see there is Temporal Drag, and it just works like a Warframe ability. And as does the Wellspring that... well, will now basically create the same area, but obviously you kind of need to very quickly swap back to your frame to do it, and You can see the power regen is still there. It's still going to work. Without mentioning the fact that technically this little circle going around me will allow me to run over here and... Stop using melee, would you? Cast an ability without it using any power. It does take time to recharge, but that's just down to the focus tree I have equipped. Being able to use an ability for free, that could be really, really useful. They're all basically 3 new weapons. I really, because it's no big secret at this point, I've already kind of been in there and played with these while Digital Extreme allowed me to play with Gaia, and I kind of preferred this, even though it only does a total of 60 damage and does have radiation on it, over this that does 62 solid electrical damage. It's just the way that the weapon kind of works, but don't get me wrong, the alternate fire on both are a lot of fun, and this is just visually so much better. I'm looking forward to actually being able to put former into these and seeing which one is actually best, because 21% crit chance, this kind of has 14. It is more status based, but I just kind of favoured that, and I massively regret not trying out this. The Hesper is obviously the giant 2-handed scythe that they have been teasing, that a lot of people have been looking forward to, that with 24% crit chance and 28% status chance, 280 total damage, and the heavy attack is basically times 3 damage for 1680. Wow. Okay. There is, of course, the Gaia collection that does bring Gaia herself, the alternate helmet. I actually really like that with the crystals rotating round on the top, and Gaia herself. The big kind of drawback to these, however, is the fact that, as mentioned at the beginning of this, you have to have completed the new war quest to then do the Angels of the Zariman quest to be able to get the parts to build any of these. Any of them. Which is not something I expected them to actually do. I thought some of the blueprints for maybe the weapons would have been in here, but no. Bounty rewards. Then there is this guy. Of all the weird things to come in the Angels of the Zariman, a maggot that acts just like the domestic drones do. Domestic drones placed there. I'm going to place you exactly where I did last time. Even though technically none of that actually exists. It's called a test server for a reason, but still, I'm going to put you right there. And we're going to come out of this, if you would let me out of there, and run down, because granted it is like 100 platinum, but it's a maggot that runs around. And one thing I do like, don't have to go too deep into spoilers just yet, because Ordis has a new Sentinel skin, because, well, technically this would be a new war spoiler if the skin actually appeared, but it doesn't, because it's just not appearing. I love making these videos because you get all of the weirdness like this. There is Valkyria's Cornivex collection that, well, it has her deluxe skin. The one thing I'm noticing though is it's missing the attitude, but it does come with the, oh, they go really well with her actual skin. But I wish right there they showed the actual kind of the agile and noble animations, because they are unique to this skin and give her attitude. Then there are obviously the Void Shells. There's only 3 of them in at the moment. One for Volt, one for Saren, one for Rhino. And yes, they will work on the primes with the Void Shell helmet and the Void Shell skin being needed, because there it is. You can literally come in and change the texture of the frame. Probably more important, in my honest opinion, is the fact that you can zoom in on certain parts of the frame, which we couldn't before, so we can add textures and be able to look at it and go, now you can actually see the textures. The thing is, as I rotate her to the right, the camera's kind of scrolling down. It's like a screw. Lefty-loosey, righty-tighty. tighty being down, loose being up. Anyway, that's just a weird thing. But I just like the fact that the textures, you can zoom in and have a much better look at these. I was really kind of hoping when they did this though, this would be textures you can put on any frame. Not just one specific skin. Any skin. In a second. Okay, it's not too spoilerish, so can leave this on, but, well, we have, what is a void plume pinion? Well, these are things that you will have to complete the quest to find out. Same goes for basically everything behind the actual Zariman itself, because you will notice missing until you complete this quest will be the Zariman itself. So I think different areas for the Void Shell to work that well. Obviously the different ones you need to buy from the marketplace or get from somewhere else. All I will call it is, after you have completed the Angels of the Zariman quest that I'm going to do something really horrible with, we'll have to kind of jump to the release notes, because obviously you can get onto the Zariman, and to be fair, I have been on the Zariman because Digital Extreme allowed me to have a look at Gaia before she was released, and now, I was hyped before they did that. Now I'm hyped even more, because now I'm going to be able to level everything, format them several times, level them all, and just get into the Zariman itself. But first, of course, we'll have to do the quest. Can't do spoilers for it because I haven't done the quest yet. After completing the quest, there will be a new social hub, the Chrysalis, that you will be able to go to, and we can see from this image there is 1, 2, 3, 4 different vendors in there. Not sure what the blue dot is, or the blue dot over here, but that is an area you will not be able to get to until then. There is a new syndicate that is involved with these 4 people, is the best way I can put that. There are, of course, as well, once you have completed the quest and can access the Chrysalis, 3 new mission types. Technically there's 5 missions there, but one's an exterminate, one's a mobile defense. I think they rotate round. They mentioned that in a dev stream a while ago. But there is the Void Flood, the Void Cascade, and the Void Armageddon. And one of the things I'm looking forward to more than anything else is the Incarnate weapons. Yes, people told me I kept calling it the Incarnate weapons. No, they are the Incarnate weapons, but I'm probably still going to end up referring to them as the Incarnate weapons at some point. But the Incarnate weapons, there's 3 of them. There's the Tonfas, melee, a secondary, and a primary. And, well, you get them in their first form, and they will evolve from here. That will be the primary that they've showed footage of many times with the, well, I would have to assume that would be the Fenmore, and it looks like it has a lot of damage behind it. The Tonfa's probably what everybody's looking forward to the most, and it's the secondary. I'm hoping this is a really good secondary, but what we can see is what they will look like when they have evolved, because the Incarnate weapons can evolve. I do believe they've got 5 different options to them as the skill tree goes up, and that's the Tonfas, that's the Fenmore, and that's the secondary. Not to forget, upon completing the Angels of the Zariman quest again, you will get access to the Dormer Zone that will allow you a personal quarters on board the Zariman that you can go to and you can decorate. And once you get to a certain point, you can unlock the Vista Suite as part of it. I think it's one of the doors that was in there. And in there you have different vistagraphs and audioscapes. You can change the audio in the room and the visual effect as well. That is going to be pretty useful. I'm waiting to see who can get out there first, because you know, as soon as that becomes available, because it's not available straight away. The Dormazoid is, that isn't. You've got to get a key to get in there. Then obviously the Xmas rework is also part of this update that brings the Overguard. That, yeah, that was kind of annoying at first, once you realise a lot of Warframe's AoE attacks do not damage Xmas with Overguard, but not all of them will have it active when you first encounter them, which I did kind of like. Obviously there is different, I'm wondering if they're, yeah, different visuals to them. The fire one is, you're going to see the fire before it is shot at you, but it's, again, the energy leech, that purple thing on the floor. If you stay out of it, you won't have your energy stolen from you, though you still have to see the Xmas to be able to avoid it, because, yeah, I fell into that trap a few times. The arson, there's no longer, it has no longer got knockback. That was great. The shields, those guys were not as easy to take down as I expected, because they've got the rotating shields and Overguard on the go, which is a little bit overkill. There is the health leech, the shock, which basically shoots balls of electricity at you, and the venomous. Yeah, venomous is still the same as it was before, just moves quicker. And the shock one, those guys can actually throw those further than I expected them to. We're not going into every little bit of this. This is the fixed list. This is never ending. All I can say is I cannot go any closer in than this. But there it is, the Zariman now appears. You just have to start the quest to get it to appear on your map, and wow how it stands out. But with that, we'll leave this off here. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you next time.